Good morning, students. This is going to be a lesson on page 160 through 164, which is number sense, lessons 52 and 53. This is all about long division. I've had some requests to go over this, so I'm going to go over it with you right now. This is just long division. It's just review long division, and when we add the decimal in, we'll get there, but it's still just, in essence, just normal old long division. It's fairly routine. For long division, if you remember, the steps are divide, multiply, subtract, drop, read, and repeat. I add these two other R's. Most teachers don't usually have that, but I think it's an important one to remember. So divide, multiply, subtract, drop, read, and repeat. I did that over here too. I wrote it vertically, and I thought, I'd rather write it this way. All right, so let's go over some questions and see how this works. All right, so here we have 687 divided by 5. So what I did was I do my very first step, which is divide. And I say to myself, how many times does 5 fit into 6? Okay, now 5 fits into 6 one time, so I put my 1 up here. Remember, this is where my answer goes. Whenever I'm doing the dividing step of a question, my answers are always going up here. Because this is a division question, and if you have a hard time remembering this, since this is a division question, all answers to division question parts are going to go up the top. Everything else is going to go below. Okay, so how many times does 5 fit into 6? Or how about 6 divided by 5? I can say that's 1. Okay, now, because I wrote this 1 down, I'm going to start doing multiplying, because I want to see, well, what do I have left over? If I've taken 5 out of the 6, what do I have left over? Okay, so 5 goes into 6 one time. Now I'm going to do 1 times 5 equals 5. 6 subtract 5 equals 1, right? So now I know how many I have left over. Actually, in reality, what I'm saying is how many hundreds do I have left over still? And I have 100 still left over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this 8 down. And what this 8's now telling me is I've regrouped this 100 actually into 18 tens. And now I'm asking the question, how many times can I take 5 out of 18? And I'm repeating. So I go 5 goes into 18 3 times. And then I say, okay, well, I know that that's correct. Now I need to figure out what that number is actually. So 3 times 5 equals 15. I write that down. And I'm going to do subtract again. 18 subtract 15 equals 3. Now I'm going to drop down again. I'd bring the 7. I'm regrouping essentially. So I'm going from 10s into 1s. And now I have 37. And I'm saying, how many times does 5 fit into 37? 5 fits into 37 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. I do subtraction, and I give myself a remainder. Okay, so long division is something you've worked on since grade 5. I think grade 4, actually. I remember people talking about doing it in grade 4. So I hope this isn't too challenging for you right now. And when we get to the decimal part of things, it should click pretty quickly as long as you're listening to this lesson. All right, so this was the most obvious, or this was the easiest version of long division. Now I have two different situations where we have to incorporate zeros, and so we'll just go over those for a second too. All right, so this time I have a number. I have 259 divided by 7, and now the issue is I right away run into the idea or issue, 7 doesn't go into 2. It doesn't fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 7 does not go into 2, therefore I'm going to put a 0. Now I'm going to do all the other steps I usually do, because I'm not going to change it up just because I wrote down a 0. 0 is still a number. So 7 goes into 2 0 times. 0 times 7 is 0. 2 subtract 0 is 2. Hey, look at that. Now we're moving on. Now I'm going to drop my 5 down, whoop, regrouping, and we have 25. Now I say 7 goes into 25 how many times? 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. 25 subtract 21 is 4. Now I'm going to do another regrouping. I'm going to drop my 9 down. Now I have the number 49. This is the read step, by the way. That's why I'm saying 49. I want you to make sure you do this part. How many times does 7 go into 49? 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 subtract 49 equals 0. Now this last one, this is when you find a 0 that goes into the middle, or you could have any number that doesn't really fit here. This could also be a different number. But so here we go. So we're starting off like normal. Okay, how many times does 3 fit into 6? 3 fits into 6 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 subtract 6 equals 0. Drop my 0 down. Uh-oh. I have 2 zeros. So what I did this time, instead of doing it this way, and showing my next step, I just drop my next number down because that's what you're essentially doing. So I said 3 does not go into 0 at all. So I wrote my 0 here. And I'm going to say, well, I'm going to drop my next number down. So I'm dropping my 8. And now I'm saying, how many times does 3 fit into 8? 3 fits into 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 subtract 6 is 2, remainder 2. All right, so this is what long division is. Now you can have a whole bunch of steps in between. You can have very long questions. You can have like 10 questions or 10 numbers across divided by 3 questions or 3 numbers. We're not going to do that. We're just going to keep it nice and simple. Now, how does long division work with decimals? Here we are. Ready? Drum roll, please. Here we go. It's all the same steps. It's the exact same. The only difference is you just have to put down the decimal right as soon as you start. All right. So I did this question and I literally just I wrote down any number here and I wrote down a number here and I just put my decimal in the right spot. Like that's all I gotta do. I line up my decimal and I will have the right answer. That's the entire secret of long division with decimals. You just have to put this decimal in the right spot. And after that, you're good. So here's the question. I'll show you what I did. We have 97.36 or $97.36 is what the question is asking actually originally, and 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down and I'm going to say to myself, well, how many times does 8 fit into 9 if it's one time? So I do 9 subtract 8 equals 1. And then I drop down my 7 and I say how many times does 8 fit into 17 if it's twice? 2 times 8 is 16. 17 subtract 16 equals 1. Drop my 3 down. Now I have, drop my 3 down, sorry. 8 goes into 13. 13. One time. 1 times 8 is 8. I have 5 left over. How many times does 8 go into 56? Because I dropped down my 6. It goes 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. 0. And I have to do a sentence, obviously, after. Okay, but this is long division with decimals is surprisingly easy. Just because it's just normal long division. You just have to put down your decimal in the right spot. That's all. It's the only step you gotta do. All right, I hope this was helpful. I was thinking about planning on doing a quiz today, but I'm thinking that as long as people get their math done, I wouldn't mind instead covering this on Monday, and we can sort of catch up and make sure everyone's on the same page in terms of quality of what we know. Okay, so I will not be handing out the test today. Try to get page 165 done. That'd be ideal. And we'll take it up and we'll talk about it on Monday. Okay, hope you have an excellent last day of remote learning. Woo!